Guys, stick with me today, and I'm going to give you the top upgrades that are going to give you great ROI.
You better get fired up.
It's crazy to think it's the first Monday of December already. Am I right? It's nuts. My wife's doing Christmas shopping. We got the lights up already. The tree has been up for weeks. We're those people. So it's wild to think we're in December, man. But it got me to thinking a lot of people will take the holidays to kind of relax, rest, spend time with their families, enjoy the holidays. And then come January and February, a lot of people want to get their homes on the market, especially down here in Florida. We've got a lot of snowbirds that are still in town. So a lot of people want to take advantage of that by getting their homes on the market. Now, we've got a little bit of time to do those last minute tweaks, those last minute upgrades to get the home in the condition we want it to be in on day one of putting it on the market. So what are some things that we can do where we're actually going to get positive ROI? I'll tell you right now, major things, generally speaking, are not going to get you a positive ROI. They'll feel good. They'll look amazing. And if you're going to stay there, sure, consider it. But if you're looking at things that are going to get you a positive ROI, we're going to look at some things that will actually do that, right? Will a pool do it? No. I'll tell you, typically right now, an average pool is probably about $80,000, $90,000 in Port St. Lucie. And on average, you're going to get about $55,000 to $65,000 back. You're going to see that with a lot of the different things you do, right? A lot of kitchen remodels, flooring, different things like that. You're going to get 60, 70, 80 cents on the dollar. You're not going to get the dollar or more back. So here are a couple things. How many do we got? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. I got 7 things that I would recommend you doing. And a lot of these things, honestly, are not that expensive. So let's start out number 1. This is probably maybe the most expensive. And I guess it depends on how you do it, but open up the floor plan. Now, if you've already got an open floor plan, you're good. But I'll tell you, if I show 100 buyers homes, maybe 2, 3, 4 prefer a more traditional, I would say cut up layout. And by cut up, I mean the dining room's here and it's got 3 walls around it. The kitchen's here and it's got 3 walls around it. The family room's here and it's got 3 walls around it, right? It's a more traditional feel. You'll find that we've got some 60, 70, 80-year-old folks who prefer that. But it's very rare. Like I said, 2, 3, 4 out of 100. The overwhelming majority want that traditionally, I shouldn't say tradition, want that open layout. And if you go look at new builds, the builders know it. When you walk in, it's an open dining room, family room, kitchen. It's all open. And then you've got to go back into some sort of hallway to get to the bedrooms and bathrooms, right? That's how just about every home in Florida works. And you're going to see that more and more with newer construction because the builders know that that's what actually sells, right? So if you can get a general contractor in there who can give you a number on opening that layout, and you can do it for, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, I absolutely think it's worth it to have that discussion and actually open it up. Now, I can't tell you if it's worth it or not because it really depends. Some homes take a lot of money. There's a lot of walls, a lot of things that it would take to actually open it up. And in those cases, maybe I wouldn't do it. In other cases, it's one wall. I've walked into a lot of homes where right when you walk in, for whatever reason, there's like a wall right there. And the purpose of the wall really isn't anything other than to just break it up. And I think, oh, take that wall down. If that's what you've got and it's not load bearing, how cheap is that to open up that whole layout and actually do it? But obviously, in other cases, you've got a lot more walls. It's just not feasible, right? Guys, as I'm going through this, if you've got questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to put it in, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, and I will absolutely go through those before the end of the video. All right, here's number 2. A new modern garage door, right? They've got garage doors that really look different now and really stand out. And listen, go to a really nice neighborhood, a community, an HOA, where you've got 7-figure homes. You're going to see a lot of the garage doors are custom. They look different. They don't look like every other garage door out there. Some of them look almost like barn doors, or they've got, I've seen some with very specific, unique custom windows. I've seen some that have different metal accessories on them. It's really cool what you can do. And if you do that, it just gives the feel of we're looking at a luxury house, right? Or a higher end house. I'll tell you, we just got plantation shutters and instantly your home just, it feels like it's a higher level home. Do the shutters actually serve? Well, they do serve a function, but their function is this big compared to a lot of other things you can do at your home. but it just feels different, right? It feels better. And that's what a new garage door, a modern looking garage door, the right garage door can do for you. So what's number 3? And this one's really cheap, right? If you've got an old average, especially if it's beat up, needs paint, whatever, mailbox, get a nice new mailbox. You can get a mailbox for a couple $100. It's going to look sharp. It's easy to install. 99% of people can do it. And then update your house numbers. If you've got house numbers on the outside of your house that are banged up, maybe they're a black metal, but some of that black paint has chipped off so you can see a little bit of underlying metal. They're faded, whatever it is, it looks so sharp when you've got new, like just stark black numbers, or whatever it is. Maybe it's stark white, but they really clash with the clash, probably isn't the best word, contrast with the house, and they pop. And when you see it, it looks fresh, it looks new, it looks great, it grabs your eye. Same thing with the mailbox. And we're talking about literally a couple $100 instead of several thousands, right? So a very, very good update to make. Next one, update your sink fixtures, right? And this depends upon what you currently have. But if you've got sink fixtures that are 15, 20, 25 plus years old, a lot of times a more updated fixture, just again, kind of like the garage door, it makes it feel like a more modern home, right? Right now, brushed nickel is really popular. I would take a look at that. Gold and brass are not popular, so that's something I might stay away from. But they've got so many great modern options out there that really make your whole home feel like it's more updated. I talk a lot about staging with my sellers, and I say, listen, you could have a home that's 2 years old, but because you've got older furniture and these huge, what did they call those cabinets? China cabinets in the dining room holding all your china. And you've got an old, beautiful, but older looking antique dining room table. And you've got an older style couch. The home just feels older. It's still 2 years old, but it feels older. The same is true with your sink fixtures, right? Older sink fixtures, a brass colored or gold colored fixture, it's just going to feel older. If you can update it with a brushed nickel, it just looks a lot sharper, a lot more modern, right? Next one. This is so cheap, so easy. White electrical plates and switches, not yellow. Now, this is true when you're especially looking at homes that were built, at least in this area, in like 07 or later. A lot of times they had the yellow plates, the electrical plates, where you either plug something in or you got a light switch, right? The same is true with fire alarms. The older ones, they're yellow. So when you go through these homes, you've got it in your mind, maybe even subconsciously, that yellow equals dated, white equals new, right? Even if you've got white, a lot of times people will paint, they do a horrible job of painting, and you've got paint over it. Those little things are things that you as a seller and buyers, even as buyers, you notice, but it's subconsciously. I want you to use awareness to actually look at your plates and see, do I have paint over them? You can go get these plates for, I don't know what they cost, $2-3 a plate. They're cheap. They're nothing. And it immediately makes your entire house feel modern, right? Next one, sticking on the color white, right? A lot of us have yellow lights in all of our fixtures. Some of us have yellow lights and white lights. Some of us have yellow lights, white lights, and missing bulbs or bulbs that don't work, right? Go through, make sure everything works, and I highly suggest a white LED light. It's going to add the most amount of light. It looks the best in your photos, and it makes your home feel modern, right? And the last one is a minor, and the keyword is minor, bathroom update, right? I'm not talking about spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. I'm talking about spending $2-3 grand tops. If you can do it yourself, it's absolutely worth it. And going in and maybe changing out that old school vanity with the cultured marble and getting something with either a quartz or a granite countertop, right? One of those cheap ones that you can get from Home Depot. I haven't been there in a while, but I think you can get them between $800 and $1,500. You can put them in pretty easy. Take that big mirror out with the bulbs that make it look like you're a Hollywood actress. That's from the 80s and 90s, man. Get that out, put a really simple mirror in, and put some new, modern, updated fixtures in that make the place look sharp. Now you've spent less than $2,000 and the place feels incredibly modern compared to what it did a couple weeks ago, right? So there, guys, are 7 really affordable ideas that you will absolutely get your money back on and more. So if you're thinking about selling in the next 6, 12, 24 months, and you're thinking, how can I pump some money into this that I know I'll get back? It'll increase saleability. It'll lower the amount of time it takes to sell. What can I do? Boom. There is a great list of 7 things that you can add to your husband's to-do list, right? Hopefully my wife isn't listening to this. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day. And again, if you've got any videos you'd like to see out of me in the future, just put them in the comments and I'd be more than happy to get those videos out in the future. Have a wonderful Monday.